Warrants are the most misunderstood part of SPAC investing, in my opinion. What a warrant does is it gives you the right to buy a share of stock at a certain price before a certain time. There's a lot more to it when it comes to SPAC warrants. Like I said, each unit comes with a fraction of a warrant, which eventually you can combine them into one. The exercise price is usually $11.50 for a SPAC. So they're similar to options in the sense that you can exercise them for stock. There's a few key differences. Number one is that whereas an option is just kind of a traded instrument between two traders, a warrant, if you exercise it, actually provides capital to the company. When you exercise a warrant, you're buying another share of stock from a company for the predetermined price. Do you have any insight on how SPAC warrants work before I get into the auto exercise mechanisms and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing that I need to the one thing I've seen with warrants that confuse people more than anything else, this came up with the Nikola SPAC before it went public. You have these shares, these regular common shares, and you have these warrants. For a while, the Nikola warrants were trading at what looked like a ridiculous discount compared to where the share price was. But you have to be aware of what the terms of the warrant are. Not all warrants allow you to exercise them and buy stock under the terms immediately. You have to wait until certain events happen. With the Nikola SPAC, how that happened was, the reason the discount was there was that there were enough warrants out there that once those shares once the warrants were exercisable, it dramatically increased the number of shares that were outstanding. And what happened was that put pressure on the stock. The resulting dilution cut the common share price. And so what seemed to be arbitrage wasn't in fact arbitrage available. So that's the one thing I would say about that. It's kind of an esoteric technical aspect, but it's something to watch out for. Those who are familiar with options, they might see some pricing things that don't seem to make sense, but you have to look really closely at not just the terms of the warrants, but when they become exercisable in order to be certain whether you've got an opportunity or whether it's something that's just going to fade away.
Yeah, they're usually not exercisable till some period after the business combination takes place, which could be a while. So even if a combination is announced and the common shares spike, Open Door is a good example of where that happened, and there was kind of an arbitrage appearing opportunity there. But it's not, there's no certainty that the merger is going to go through. There's no certainty that the price is still going to be high by the time it gets there. And usually SPAC warrants have some kind of provisions where the company can force them to be exercised, or can just exchange them for a certain amount of shares of stock, known as the cashless exercise. So be sure to read the fine print when it comes to the SPAC warrants. Usually $18 a share is the threshold a stock needs to be over before a company can just automatically force their warrants to be redeemed. So there's also a lot of homework involved in that. You need to make sure that the company is not going to redeem your warrants. You're not just going to let them expire useless and things like that. There's a lot of ongoing homework that needs to happen when it comes to SPAC warrants. For newer investors, I would advise buying either the shares or the units, not just kind of gambling on warrants, which is what buying SPAC warrants are. It's gambling, not investing.